Welcome to Retirement Decoded with your host, Scott Tucker, where we break down the complexities of retirement planning to give you clear, actionable advice. Whether you're just starting out or getting ready to retire, Scott's here to help you make informed decisions and secure your financial future. Tune in each week as we simplify the process and decode the path to a stress-free retirement. Now, here's your host, Scott Tucker.
Welcome back to the podcast, Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker. And Associate Advisor Andre Hootie joins me yet again for this podcast. Say hello, Andre Hootie.
Hello, Andre Hootie.
Andre Hootie, we've got a question on today's episode from Mary. Mary says, Scott and Andre, I am 64 years of age. My husband is 62. She married a younger man, Andre. So Mary says, I am 64. My husband is 62. The majority of our retirement money is in a 401k and in an IRA. Sounds like those were both traditional tax deferred, but we'll find out. Would it make sense to sell some of the IRA and 401k and put into our Roth IRA as long as we don't push ourselves into another tax bracket? So she's really overthinking this, because she's talking about doing Roth conversion.
Exactly, I am. So
maybe we'll simplify that language. We'll come back to that in a minute. Our tax bracket last year was 22%, but the effective rate was only 14%. I mean, she's onto something there, though. She realizes, as an aside, so Andre, a lot of folks don't realize their tax bracket might be whatever percent, but the effective rate after deductions and so on and so forth may be far less than what they think they're paying.
Right, yeah. So that's pretty much the reason why a lot of people get refunds throughout the year, because they withhold more on their checks than they actually need to. You know, they just know 22% brackets, so they just kind of decide to.
Well, I think I'm getting at something else. What I'm getting at a different point. A lot of people just guess at how many dependents to claim on their
that too.
Yeah, on their W-4 or whatever. So I'm not getting into that. I'm getting at how we have progressive tax brackets. Your tax bracket with the number of pennies you pay to the IRS on the last dollar earned doesn't mean you paid any dollars on the first dollar earned. Right. So you might say I'm at the XYZ number tax bracket. It doesn't mean that's your effective tax rate through overall your money. Mm-hmm. Your effective rate might be, like in Mary's example, 8 points less than what her bracket is. Her bracket's one thing, but her effective tax rate is 8% less than her tax bracket, her top tax bracket.
But it's good she's keeping an eye on that.
Most people don't. Most people don't know. Yeah. Most people, that's something, we talk so much about tax brackets. When you explain effective tax rate, a lot of people turn their head sideways, like Forrest when he hears the siren. Our dog Forrest, Natalie and I live in Mount Prospect, Illinois. And Forrest, the mutt, whenever there's like an ambulance at the fire station that goes off, has a weird siren, and he cocks his head and he starts howling at it. He thinks it's another Forrest. So Mary says, I'm 64, my husband's 62. The majority of our retirement money is in a 401k. I don't know whose that is. So it sounds like it's a traditional 401k, the way she did her question. So the majority of our retirement money is in a traditional 401k, we'll say, and then in a traditional IRA is what I think she's saying here. Would it make sense to sell? She gets into selling stuff and buying stuff and all that. Mary, what you're getting at is would Roth conversions make sense to potentially reduce our lifetime income taxes? Andre, would you say that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Mary, you probably ought to get on our phone calendar. We can talk to you 15 minutes for free over the telephone in the coming week at tuckerretirement.com. See our phone calendar. Schedule yourself right there. We don't charge anything for that, and we'll help you out. We'll help anybody else out that listens to the podcast. That's at tuckerretirement.com. See our phone calendar. Schedule yourself right there. We'll do it over the phone for free.
But it's, and one thing I'll say is, Roth conversions are going to be great, but you need to be smart about how you do those.
You don't try this at home.
Yeah.
There's sometimes something breaks at the house and I get on YouTube. The next thing you know, I have an electrician showing me how easy it is to do something. And then he's like taking stuff apart. He's like, you're supposed to turn off the circuit breaker, but I'm a pro. I know how not to get shocked. And I'm like, oh boy, I'm in too deep.
Well, then they pull out the specialty tools. They have to go rent or something,
we have Natalie and I redid our garage, and it's all like heated and cooled and stuff. It has a mini split. It has insulated garage door and insulation on all the walls, and just did it up nice. And I was having trouble with the mini split. One winter, and it wasn't quite heating the garage like it should be, and I forgot the thing has a filter. So the first thing I do is I just Google, or I chat GPT, like, why wouldn't it be heating, whatever. Right. The next thing you know, I'm on YouTube, and this guy's got a video about how the system might need to be recharged. I click on his video and he's like, oh yeah. And so I sell my kit, the link down below.
Oh, of course.
And he shows me this whole, like, it's not Freon, the refrigerant thing. And then you have to have this gauge. And I sell a whole kit down below. And the kit was like $200.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, well, I could do a service call for like I think I ended up doing like a service call for like $64.
Oh my God.
And the guy comes out and the guy was awesome. And the problem is I got the mini split and I threw the owner's manual away. I think is what I did.
Well, yeah, that might be important.
So the guy comes over, works on the mini split, and he opens it up and he goes, oh yeah, see these filters? You got to wash these. I'm like, oh geez, am I stupid?
Well, at least
I'll never make that mistake again.
Right.
And actually for $64, and I didn't have to, because what would I have done otherwise? Like, is it the refrigerant?
Yeah.
Buy a $200 kit through the mail and then wait, wait another month of freezing weather.
Right. And then you take it apart and now there's extra work for the service guy.
Whoa, what a knucklehead. So Mary is 64, her husband's 62. The majority of their money's in a traditional 401k and a traditional IRA. And I'm going to reword your question for you, Mary. For most folks, it doesn't make sense to do a Roth conversion. Now, we'll say the 401k is your husband's money because you didn't tell me. So let's say your husband's money is in his 401k at work. What's really difficult in an employer plan is doing a Roth conversion at work and doing it properly. Also, if you were to do it at work and he's not, well, good thing you guys were past 59 and a half. If he were to do the Roth conversion at work and if he were to withhold federal income tax from that employer plan, he would pay, if he was not 59 and a half, he would pay a 10% penalty on that amount withheld. So that can be hairy. That's one of those, don't take your mini split apart by yourself, Andre.
Exactly.
End up with parts all over the place.
Yeah.
And then how does this go back together? When it's 0 degrees and you can't heat your garage. And then the other thing is, let's say the other money that Mary and her husband have is in her traditional IRA. Now, you can do a Roth conversion there. And this is a question we get a lot, Andre. People say, I've got shares of whatever stock in my IRA. Can I just convert them over and then pay the tax separately? You could do that.
You could. I wouldn't.
We're not big fans of specific stock risks. So I would ideally not have a bunch of specific stock in an IRA, like say Apple or whatever your favorite, pick your poison. I don't care how good the company is. I don't like concentrated stock positions. And so you could Roth convert a share of Apple from IRA to Roth, but now you have to pay federal income tax on where you get that money from.
Yeah. And I think the misnomer a lot of times comes from like people mix that up with, just a regular non-qualified account. Like if you sell in a non-qualified account, that causes taxes. But if you sell your shares in a traditional IRA,
good point.
It doesn't cause taxes. It just
good point. So the way we usually do this for clients, right, Andre, is we'll have we might use Schwab or Fidelity as custodian, and then we will have our model portfolios, and we have money managers that help with all that. But the way we do stuff, we have ETFs and stuff in your ETFs, maybe some mutual funds in your IRA. We don't convert the shares from the IRA to the Roth. It's a heck of a lot simpler. We just sell however much you need converted. The cash goes from the IRA to the Roth. We typically, if you're 59 and a half, we do the federal withholding from the IRA as that cash. The cash shows up in the Roth, and then we repurchase whatever it is you wanted to have in that model portfolio on your Roth side.
Exactly. I mean,
it probably sounds more complicated to a lot of people, but it's actually way more simple.
Yeah.
Because we're doing this for a bazillion clients a year.
Right. And that's this way, when you're converting a specific dollar amount, at least you can plan on that dollar amount versus if you're converting shares, you don't know what the shares are going to be worth tomorrow or 2 days later when the company you're working with, when they process the paperwork.
I forgot. That's a great point, Andre. I forgot to bring that up. Yeah. So say you want to do a Roth conversion of whatever your number is. We have folks that have saved quite a lot, traditional IRA, for instance. They might want to Roth convert. We have big numbers and small numbers. Say it's $50,000. Say you want to Roth convert $50,000. If you do it by shares going from your IRA to your Roth, you are not sure you're going to hit $50,000. You might hit $45,000, $55,000, and it's hard to plan your tax season that way. So like Andre says, that's another reason why we'll do it as cash. So if you want to Roth convert $50,000 gross, we might sell $50,000 in your IRA. And again, buying and as Andre said a minute ago, another great point he had, buying and selling in your IRA doesn't generate taxes. It's a tax deferred account. None of the money in your IRA has ever been taxed, right? So we might sell $50,000 We might want to Roth convert the gross amount of $50,000, and maybe we want to send 20% to the IRS as an easy math example. $50,000 cash from IRA, we want to Roth convert 20% or $10,000 goes to the IRS. So it goes from Schwab or Fidelity or whoever, it goes directly to the IRS as federal withholding. You'll get a 1099-R in January. They'll show that you got credit for that when you're doing your taxes. And then $40,000 cash shows up on the Roth side, and then we just purchase there whatever it is we need to own to be nice and diverse the way we like to be. And now you've got $40,000 in Roth. That money will grow tax-free the rest of your life. It'll never create taxable income. It'll never have required minimum distributions. Any income taken from your Roth IRA never goes on your tax return. It's non-reportable income. Income taken from your Roth IRA does not cause taxes on your Social Security the way IRA money can. You pass away, say Mary, you and your husband passed away yesterday and you left nothing but Roths behind. The next generation gets to grow that money tax-free for 10 more years, and then they can cash it out tax-free. They can cash it out tax-free, day after your funeral too, or day after death, really, if they're really in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean,
if your kids are really in a hurry, TuckerRetirement.com, get on the phone calendar. But
the smart thing would be, as most people know, there are limits as to how much you can put into a Roth IRA. So, leaving a giant Roth to your kids, that gives them the opportunity to grow that money, right? They probably won't get a chance. Let's say you leave $100,000 behind to them in a Roth IRA. It's going to take them a while to build up their own account to that kind of size.
Well, I think and again, I don't want to stop on I don't want to get people confused. There are limits on Roth contributions. There's not limits on Roth conversions. Leaving behind Roth money, you leave behind a tax-free legacy to the next generation. And everybody says, well, a lot of people say, I don't want to leave any money to the next generation. They can figure it out. Well, if you don't die broke, you leave money behind. If you're going to leave money behind, then let's leave tax-free money behind. Better for you while you're living. There's a whole bunch of tax planning stuff we do to seek to minimize your lifetime income taxes while you're here. So Roth conversions can be a big part of that. And you going through your retirement years with Roth IRA is a heck of a lot less taxing than traditional IRA. Then also, if you don't die broke, you leave money behind to kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, whoever you leave behind to. Let's not leave them behind a whole bunch of tax messes. And you could say, well, let them pay the taxes. Andre, they're going to pay the taxes with your money. Yeah,
and did you really work all your life to just send it to the IRS? I'm not working for that reason. I mean, that's not why I work.
You don't work to fund the IRS? That's not your life's goal?
Not this year. Maybe I'll reconsider, in the future, but for now I'm saving Roth.
That's downright silly. Yeah. So that's another thing. Andre, a lot of times folks will say, I'm in my early 50s, you're not even 30 yet. And a lot of times clients will say, well, how are you saving for retirement? We're both saving in the Roth 401k. We're both saving in Roth versions of IRAs, whether it's you can fund the traditional and then Roth convert it the next day back to our Roth that we've talked about on a previous episode. I think it was, unless we talked about it today too. I don't know. It runs together in my head. So the way I save for my retirement, and I also for Natalie too, I manage her stuff and keep her on track. I've got Natalie has her own career, and I have everything she makes darn near is going into Roth 401k and Roth IRA and all this stuff building up. Because I can't do all this. I can't do all the most tax advantage saving in my own name.
Right.
It really helps that she has her own career, and we can max out another Roth 401k over there and another Roth IRA, whether it's done traditional or back to a Roth, whichever way you want to do it, or you need to do it. We want to keep it clean. But so how are we saving for retirement? We're saving using every kind of tax-free vehicle we can. And that's how important it is that you just don't let traditional 401k, 403b, deferred comp, TSP, traditional IRAs, these you think you're really winning while you're getting those tax deductions now. You can really run into a buzzsaw. We can show you that on a Zoom. If you want to go to TuckerRetirement.com, get on our phone calendar, and we could do a 15-minute phone call on Zoom in the coming week and show you what we mean. We can run your numbers. But a lot of folks don't realize how taxing retirement can be if you just tax defer everything. It's really mind-blowing.
Yeah, we even have a name for it, the
income tax ski jump.
Exactly. Yep. And when you come into the office and we run your numbers, you'll see that it really does look like a ski jump for, I'd say 85%, 90% of the people we see.
Well, Andre, what if the listener is in Naples, Florida? Are they coming in the office?
No, we can do a Zoom with you.
Do a Zoom too, see? Just beating up on Andre. Get on our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com. We'd love to talk to you 15 minutes for free in the coming week with one of our financial planners. We'll get your questions answered, your answers question, and show you all this stuff. Well, it's been fun, and it's been real, and it's been real fun. Go ahead and, wherever you listen to podcasts, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share it on Facebook, on the old face page, tuckerretirement.com, and we will talk to you on the next episode. Thanks so much.
Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. has a strategic partnership with tax professionals and attorneys who can provide tax and or legal advice. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. A Roth conversion is a taxable event and may have several tax-related consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. The views and opinions herein are those of Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AEWM and Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc.